Yo, what's up, everybody, man? It's your boy Pryoxis, and I'm back, but I also brought the gang with me, and we have another edition. The boy Crooks, Cody Dank, JMMA, Crooks 209, the great. And here we go, man. Another fight prediction for UFC 271, I believe. And if you always want to introduce yourselves, you can go ahead and start with Jay.
Um, y'all already know what time it is. It's your boy Jamie Me. You know what I'm saying? And I know last time I was on here, I only got two picks wrong last time. So it's just two. It's light work. Pretty confident in my picks, and I'm ready to get it on, man.
It's the do rag.
Yes, it's the do rag joke.
Oh, y'all want me to go? Oh yeah, all right. Bet y'all already know. Y'all already know it's Crooks. I dropped the 209 part of my name though. This is Crooks the Great now. You know I ain't repping no area code. I'm worldwide now. So y'all know how
Say
it goes.
less.
About to get it in.
Glad to have you, Crooks, and y'all know Cody. I stream on Twitch, YouTube, all that good stuff. Make these videos with these boys here. Jay's a little prelim, but Pride did a good job. I'm sure Crooks will be. All he has to do is breathe in the right direction of the mic and video, and he should probably do a better job than Jay's prelim ass. But yeah, that's about it, man. Let's kick this thing off.
All right, so here we go, man. We go with the first fight, lightweight fight, Bobby Green versus Nazareth. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. His last name gonna tear me up. All right,
Hack breast.
Knack passed. All right, bro. And I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like I'm gonna be completely honest with this fight, bro. This fight is gonna be real good. Honestly, I don't think this fight is getting finished, and I'm Bobby Green getting a decision loss, split decision. It's the life that he lived. Bobby Green lives the split decision loss life, bro. And I personally want Bobby Green to win because I mean he's like essentially a fan favorite, dude. Everybody liking his style and just the way he carries himself. But I'm gonna say he gonna lose a split decision. Actually, no, cut the cap. He winning the split decision this time. All right, so I'm going to win with the split, man. What you guys think?
You can go
Um,
ahead, Jay.
yeah, I know I was gonna go anyway. But
Well,
Bobby Green, in my opinion, he's on a 5-fight win streak. He had that BS decision loss to Thiago Moraes, which he obviously won, and I lost a lot of money, but we're not gonna talk about that. And then the Fiziev fight,
He won that one.
I I personally thought he won that fight as well.
Yes.
I 30-27 is kind of crazy to me that they scored at 30-27 Fiziev. I thought he won by split on that fight as well. And then last fight, he just decimated L.A. Quinta into retirement. So I'm really interested to see how this goes because Thiago Moraes' fight is really the only recent fight we have of him against a grappler. So Lando Venata too, but Lando Venata is really not a grappler like that. Um, Real interested to see because Nashrat, I'm not about to even say that last name. You know, he's a protege of GSP. I think him and someone else is like the only people GSP like corners. So like for GSP to be cornering you, you know, that's kind of, you know, of honor. Last fight he was dealing with the loss of his mother against Dan Hooker. And what we expected him to do to Dan Hooker, what this is crazy. Dan Hooker actually did to him and just completely out grappled him. Like just straight up out grappled him. He didn't have an answer. So I'm really interested to see if he cleans that up. Bobby Green has a very nice takedown defense. So I don't know. This is gonna be real interesting. I'm gonna go Bobby Green by third round KO. I think Bobby Green can get it done. I just think the experience is just gonna be too much. I think these last few matchups he's been getting, it's just not a matter of him being outskilled. It's just he doesn't have that experience yet. Um, I can see him winning the decision, but I'm gonna go Bobby Green because you know what I'm saying it's Black History Month, so I'm definitely going Bobby Green.
oh my god.
Go
You
ahead,
just had
Crooks.
to you just had to mention that on Jay. You had to throw it in there. Now, this fight actually is really interesting if you look at the styles, because both of these guys tend to stand up more. Like Nazareth, even though I mean, I didn't know he was a protege of GSP, but he don't really be shooting takedowns like that. He really doesn't. And his last fight against Dan Hooker, if you look at the strike output, Dan Hooker put an ass whooping in terms of like the stats on it. I think he landed 177 total strikes to Nazarat's like 77 or something like that, which is ridiculous. Nazarat threw 77 and Dan Hooker landed 177, which
God
is
damn.
like that's brutal, bro. That's brutal. And
Beat the
Bobby
hell
Green,
out
like
of
you
him.
said, Bobby Green, bro, like Bobby Green has the experience. He's coming off of knocking out Ally Aquina. So I mean his style is just kind of made his style is just going to be very hard for Nazareth to handle, really. Plus the experience, and I think even if Nazareth starts shooting takedowns, I think Bobby Green's just going to stuff him easily. So either he's going to finish him. I'm going to say Bobby Green's probably going to beat him in a decision. He's probably going to get a UD from me.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. I just want to point out, yeah, he knocked out Iaquinta, but Iaquinta has publicly said on his podcast that he basically gave up. He openly admitted that. He was like, I just realized I didn't want to be in there and I don't want to fight anymore. So I had not, like, he ate a big shot for sure, but one, he landed that shot because Iaquinta looked like he didn't want to be there that night. And then the second he got hit one good time, he was like, check, please. So just want to point that out because if you go through his last fights, okay, let's look before that. Before that, Fiziev, decision. Moises, decision. Alan Patrick, decision. Lando Venata, decision. Clay Guida, decision. Francisco Trinaldo, decision. Jakar Close, decision. Eric Coach, decision. Lando Venata, decision again. Rashid Magomedov, decision. His last fight that wasn't a decision before that was Dustin Poirier knocking him out. Literally 6 years ago. So this shit's going to decision. Especially because Nasrat, he's pretty durable himself. I mean, he took a beating in that Dan Hooker fight. And yeah, you might have GSP in that corner, but he don't got shit for that GSP wrestling. If any, I'm going to throw this out there. If anybody gets a takedown in this fight, it's going to be Bobby. If Bobby wanted to take more people down, he could. His wrestling's actually good. People forget he goes in there against grapplers and takes them down. He took Moises down, and he took Alan Patrick down. He should not have lost that Moises fight. That was a robbery. He got robbed against Trinaldo and Jakar Close. I mean, the dude is lit. I thought he won the Rashid Magomedov fight. So literally, in a different world, this guy's on a 9-fight win streak right now. So I will say I actually had money on Bobby Green by decision at like plus 500 against Fiziev, and I still kind of thought Fiziev edged that by landing the bigger shots. But it does need to be noted that Bobby Green outlanded him in all 3 rounds. And whoever that judge was that gave Fiziev the 3rd round needs to be fucking shanked. Because that man literally doubled him up on strikes. Fiziev was mouth breathing a minute into that round, just trying to basically survive. I did thought he won the first 2 rounds, even though he got outlanded on because he was landing the bigger shots. But Bobby Green definitely won that 3rd, and that just shows Bobby Green's got a good gas tank. He's got great takedown defense, like Jay was talking about, or one of you guys. Great takedown defense, great submission defense, hell of a chin. Dude's head movement's insane. He just doesn't put his hands up. Every time I bet Bobby Green, I'm just cringing at my TV because it's literally like he's playing a game. How low can I keep my hands? Like his hands are at his feet. I'm like, bro, please put your hands up. He's in the pocket with his hands at his ankles. So but he gets away with it because his head movement's fucking perfect. It's all he rarely gets. Even when he gets hit, he rolls with the shots. Like his head movement is some of the best in the UFC, in my opinion. I mean, another one that I put up there is Nasrat's older brother, Kelvin Gastelum. That man's head movement is so slept on. But I just feel like Bobby Green's got a better grappling. He could take Nasrat down if he wanted. They're both super durable. I have a bet. I have it parlayed this fight to go to decision. Parlayed up with somebody else on the card. It's like -200, somewhere around that range. But I just don't see this fight getting finished either way. It's -190 for the fight to go to decision, and I think that's largely because he's coming off a finish in his last fight. Yeah, that was against a guy who's coming off all these surgeries, didn't want to fight anymore, literally retired right after the fight, and openly said he gave up. So I don't count that KO very high. I just think that was a matter of circumstances with Iaquinta being in there, and I just don't see this fight getting finished. I got the fight going to decision. I'm leaning Bobby, but the man has literally been robbed in more decisions than anybody in MMA history, in my opinion. I think he's Other than the Fiziev fight, every single one of those other decision losses we talked about, I thought he won. Jakar Close, Magomedov, and um, the Moises fight, and there was one more, the Francisco Trinaldo fight. I thought he won all those decisions. So I'm tempted to lay something on Bobby Green by decision, but so far I've just taken the safe route and took fight to go to decision, and I parlayed that up. What's the next fight, Jay?
The next fight we got is Alexander Hernandez versus the veteran Reno Moicano. I don't know if y'all saw this, but I was looking at some of the pictures because I just like doing that. Pause.
Hey,
It
yo.
looks like I'm talking about the pictures of them, like you know, with the gloves and shit.
Oh,
Come
okay.
on now.
Sure, Jay. Sure,
Dirty
Jay.
mind ass. Come
Sure,
on.
Jay.
Random Moicano body was like red, like super red. So I'm expecting that he has been training for a body kick heavy approach from Alexander Hernandez because I really do. As much as people don't like him, I tend to agree he's kind of an asshole. He's like that douche in high school, that jock. Like that's who Alex Hernandez, like that's who he is. But the dude, he actually has skill. Like he's not trash. I really like his wrestling. He can put it all together with the striking. Very nice kickboxing. He changed camps his last fight. Got a very good KO win. He got decimated by Cowboy. Which was well deserved. And then Reno Moicano, he's coming off his win against Jai Herbert. Okay. And he got his ass beat by Faziev. He got KO. Got his ass beat by Kelvin Cater. So it's like the only route for Randall Moicano to win this, in my humble opinion, is by decision, and that's due to ground control. If Alex Hernandez decides to take this to the ground, I think Randall Moicano would be like a kid in a candy shop. He's like, oh yeah, I love this. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, yo.
But if this just stays standing for 3 rounds, he's gonna get KO'd. Either KO'd or just decimated. So I'm gonna go Alex Hernandez 2nd round KO. I don't see where Reno Moicano can win as far as the striking. That's not to say he doesn't have striking, because he's a decent enough striker to say he's quote unquote grapple heavy. Alex Hernandez, uh, he was crying about the fight being on the early prelims, and I tend to agree with the UFC because looking at this fight, I really don't think it's not main card worthy. He got his wish. If he goes out there and get KO'd, my guy, don't ever just retire. Because he was literally crying. It was like, oh my goodness, I'm on the early prelims, UFC, Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard put. If you go out there and get KO'd, retire. Because I don't want to see you fight again. Because all you do, you sound like a fucking. You're a grown ass man, bro. Like, shut the fuck up and just go fight, man. Damn. But yeah, nonetheless, I'm gonna pick you to win. You better win. I'm going 2nd round TKO, Alex Hernandez.
Don't
All
let
right,
Jay run
cool.
into Alexander Hernandez in the lobby. He about to get.
Yeah, Jay, I'm gonna go as somebody who's a friend of the Dank Gang stream. I'm gonna need you to pronounce my boy's name right. My best friend, Renato Moicano. Call him Renato again. In Brazil, ours are not.
Well,
You don't pronounce them. Okay.
Last time I checked, my
Renato.
friend, we are in the
Okay.
USA. This is not Brazil, my friend.
Okay.
We do not use pesos. We use USD. What does USD stand for? United States dollars. So we are in the United States, my good friend. We pronounce our R's. We roll them like orange and rover. You know, we do stuff like that. So it's gonna
Yeah,
be.
I'd love to get a language lesson from you, Crooks. What do you think about this one?
I mean, it's an interesting fight. I mean, in my opinion, it's honestly the grappler versus the striker because Alexander Hernandez is probably going to try to keep it on the feet. Moicano's probably going to try to take it to the ground because that's how Moicano won his last fight. He literally just got his Herbert to the ground, bro, and literally just out grappled him. He just laid up on him and was able to maneuver himself and then got a rear naked choke. I think that's how he won his last fight. Alexander Hernandez, he's quick. He's very explosive. He's very explosive with what he with what he can do on the feet. So if Alexander Hernandez could keep it standing, I think it would probably be, obviously it's going to be his best opportunity to win the fight. But that's not to say that Moicano doesn't have striking. Like if you watch Moicano back in featherweight, people forget that this is the same dude that dropped Cub Swanson with a damn jab. Like with a perfectly timed jab. Just dropped Cub Swanson. Now, I mean, Cub's not the best. You know, I'm biased because I use Cub in UFC 4. We all know this, but no, like Moicano, he went on a run in featherweight too. I mean, I think he had like what, like a 5 or 6 fight win streak in featherweight until he ran into Aldo, which we all know how good Aldo is. And then he moved up to lightweight, and I mean, he has decent enough striking to be able to stand with Alexander Hernandez. And the one thing that can also really play a factor in this fight is that Hernandez is known to fade if he extends too much energy in the first 2 rounds trying to strike. So if he does that, and then Moicano can kind of time out a takedown, I feel like he could probably get him to the ground and probably sub him, just because he's that much ahead of Alexander Hernandez on the ground. In terms of a prediction for this fight, though, um, I'm probably gonna go. I'm probably gonna go Hernandez just because by decision, probably by UD as well, just because I think he's gonna have the edge in striking just with his explosiveness, and I think he's gonna be able to stop Moicano from getting him to the ground. But I wouldn't be honestly surprised to see this go the other way and Moicano possibly get a sub as well.
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Alexander Hernandez first round TKO, bro. Straight up. Straight up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I would have said that, but I got
Straight
respect.
up.
I'm gonna give respect. Okay,
First round
damn.
TKO. I'm sorry, Cody. That's your man's. I'm sorry, bro. You can go ahead.
Well, I mean, I could definitely see it. I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't know if you had anything
No, I'm
else you wanted
done.
to say.
You good?
Short and sweet. Hey, I respect it. Well, for this one, I just want to say, I know a lot of people have been saying for this week, Moicano's chinny. But you look at his 3 knockout losses. Jose Aldo, first of all, that was to the body. He ripped him with a mean left body hook. I mean, he also hit him up top, but that body hook, that disgusting body hook, thank God for it, because it's the reason I get that level 5 body hook for Jose Aldo in UFC 4. But, and then his 2 other knockout losses are Chan Sung Jung, Korean Zombie, and Rafael Fiziev. And people forget, too, in that Fiziev fight, it was pretty competitive until, you know, hey, when Fiziev beats you, a lot of times he's going to knock you out. Like, so there definitely, I could see it, because Alexander Hernandez, if he's going to win this fight, I definitely think knockout's his best chance, and probably would be in the first round. Because, like Crook said, he does tend to slow down. We've seen him slow down before. He slowed down massively in that Donald Cerrone fight. Got completely outclassed. God, that was one of the most satisfying fights I've ever watched. After my man talked a gang load of shit, talking about day drinking Don, and he's a bum, and he's going to sleep him. Then Donald literally outclassed him. And by the end of the second, Alexander was literally stumbling around the octagon, mouth breathing, getting clipped with every single thing that Donald Cerrone threw. We've seen, honestly, in my opinion, Hernandez, yeah, he's got big punching power, and I thought this dude was going to be like something. I really thought he had training at Factory X 7, 2 years ago when he was like 27, and he was, going on a decent run, or I should say like 3 years ago. His only performance that's ever really impressed me was obviously that debut, one of the best debuts ever. Beneil Dariush went in there, slept him, 40 seconds. That was obviously impressive, but honestly, that might have been the worst thing that ever happened to him, because after that, I swear, like, the hype train began. And yeah, he squeaked out a win over Olivier Aubin-Mercier before Oliver got cut. But then he got exposed against Donald Cerrone. And then he won a robbery decision. If you go back and watch him versus Francisco Trinaldo, he did not win that fight. It was strictly because they fought in Texas, which is where Alexander's from. Something to keep note of, because these fights are in Texas. So, just like what happened in that Trinaldo fight, if this goes to the cards and is close, we've seen it once before. Like, what? Who's to say he wouldn't get another robbery win? And then he knocked out Chris Gutzmacher and Mike Breeden. You know, two, I'm sorry, not trying to be disrespectful, but cans. He did exactly what he should do and go in there and knocked him out in the first round. What happened when he's gotten, every time he's had to step up, Donald Cerrone, who was 38 and chinned at that point, and Donald Cerrone's the homie, but, you know, everybody and their sister thought Alexander was going to knock him out, but what happened? He got exposed. Fought Drew Dober. We're not talking about like a title contender. Drew Dober, a middling guy, decent guy. Knocked him out, starched him, beat the shit out of him. Thiago Moises, a jiu-jitsu guy, a guy who landed 0 strikes to like 50 strikes against Michael Johnson, and then went out in the second round, pulled a straight ankle, and literally one of the most ridiculous comebacks I've ever seen. In the first round, Michael Johnson literally beat the dog shit out of Thiago Moises. Michael Johnson, aka the greatest, worst fighter of all time, most skilled, shitty fighter of all time, finds a way to lose every fight. I don't understand how. But was beating the shit out of Thiago Moises. And then Thiago walks out in the second round, never lands a strike and wins. Literally falls into guard and puts Michael Johnson's white belt ass in a straight ankle lock. Some shit that you would never... like, that was like what happens when a black belt and a white belt roll. So... he got completely bailed out in that. And what happened? Thiago fought fucking Alexander Hernandez and literally outclassed him on the feet. Nobody called Thiago Moises to outstrike Alexander Hernandez. That wasn't a long time ago, man. That was 1 year ago. Like, then, because he knocked out Mike Breeden? He's, like, back? Like, I don't know, man. So I got Thiago Moises, and I don't think that the only way he could win is ground and control. Jay, prelim ass, because Thiago Moises, the better striker, the better jiu-jitsu, better wrestling. He's literally better technically everywhere. The only thing Alexander Hernandez has on him is his explosive. You know, he's more explosive. He's got more power. So I got Thiago Moises. I am going to take him by decision.
Thiago Moises.
But I think
Thiago Moises ain't even fighting, bro. Lay off.
Wait,
stay off, though.
I mean, I got Renato Moicano. Boy, shut up. I got Renato Moicano to do the exact same thing. Fucking better striking, better jiu-jitsu, better wrestling. He went out there and took his last opponent down, like, at will. It was easy. So if Thiago Moises can do that to him, like, what's Renato Moicano gonna do? He's a better striker than Thiago Moises. He's honestly got better jiu-jitsu, in my opinion. And he's actually gone out there and shot takedowns. So, yeah, I got Hanato all day. And I know I might be a little biased because he's my boy. But...
you said this already. I think we got the...
I got him.
Yo, hey, I think Cody got a little wrapped up on Thiago Moises. My boy, I was sitting there like, Cody, where are we going?
Yeah, that's what I was doing this. I'm like, okay.
It's the same stylistic matchup, though, because styles make fights. Thiago Moises is honestly a worse version of Renato Moicano, in my opinion. Maybe he's been finished less, but I think Renato Moicano's got better striking. His jiu-jitsu is at least just as good, and he actually goes out and hits takedowns, where Thiago Moises has to pull guard. But anyways, we spent a lot of time on this fight. So, what's the next one, Crooks?
Yeah, we're gonna jump into the next one, and this could arguably have been a main event on a Fight Night card, which I think it was supposed to be, right? Which was Jared Cannonier and Derek Brunson. I mean, this arguably could be, depending on how you view Sean Strickland in this aspect, could be a number one contenders fight, because Jared Cannonier has won 4 out of his last 5, with his only loss coming to Robert Whittaker, who's fighting in the main event for the title. And then you got Derek Brunson, who's on, I believe, a 5-fight win streak with beating Darren Till. This matchup is not really honestly hard for me to pick, and I'm just gonna come out and say I think Jared Cannonier is gonna knock Derek Brunson out. I think he's going to KO him in the first round, because Derek Brunson is known to not have a good chin. He's not. He has elite level wrestling. He's a good grappler, but even against Darren Till if everything is accurately stated from Darren Till's camp, he had a partially torn ACL, a fully torn ACL. He still almost knocked Derek Brunson out. Like, had it not been because of unfortunate circumstances with the scrambling situation that Darren Till put himself in, which led to him losing that fight, I mean, he hurt Derek Brunson even with a fully torn ACL. And you look at his fight against Israel Adesanya, he got hurt. Robert Whitaker finished him. He's gotten hurt a lot. He's known to not have the best chin. And against Jared Cannonier, who was when he started his UFC career, he was up at heavyweight. Then he dropped down to light heavyweight, and now he's at middleweight. He's one of the hardest hitting middleweights in the division with
Nigga
good grappling
brawling.
defense. Yeah,
That's
bro. I
funny.
think he has a 62% takedown defense in his UFC career. So I mean, Derek Brunson is good at getting takedowns. I just don't think he'll be able to do it against Jared Cannonier. I think Jared Cannonier is just going to pick a shot. He's probably going to put Derek Brunson out. I'm going to say probably in the second round. I'll call a Jared Cannonier finish in the second round. How do you see it though? I think we're going to go Cody first, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm definitely gonna agree with you, Jared Cannonier. I'm gonna take him by TKO as well. I just think that I do think Derek Brunson, chin isn't quite as bad as a lot of people say it is. If you go through his finished losses are to like straight elite guys. Okay, Izzy Adesanya knocked him out. Okay, the Souza one's probably the worst one. Because, Souza does have a lot of power. Striking's not great, but does have a lot of power. Then Robert Whitaker, Yoel. And people forget, too, in the Yoel fight, he was taking Yoel down. Olympian Yoel Romero. He took him down. On paper, like, I know Derek Brunson's shots aren't the prettiest. They can be ugly sometimes and telegraphed. But on paper, he's might be the best wrestler at middleweight. As far as, like, getting takedowns and getting on top. Who's got more takedowns than him at middleweight, Jay?
Luke Rockhold still fights at
What?
185 pounds, right?
Bro,
Luke
did you just
Rockhold
really
is
lose Luke
Luke
Rockhold?
Rockhold is a better wrestler than Derek. Yes,
He doesn't have near the amount.
Yes.
Exactly what I just said is the point of Derek Brunson's takedowns.
Answer my question. Does if you put Luke Rockhold on top of Izzy and and Derek Brunson on top of Izzy,
that's not wrestling though. We were talking about takedowns.
They have to get a fucking takedown to get him down though.
Luke Rockhold has the better jiu-jitsu. So if he got on top of Izzy, I would favor him more than I would favor Derek Brunson. But Derek Brunson at getting the takedown, it's not even close. Luke Rockhold, he averages like less than a takedown a fight, brother. What are you talking about? So anyways,
Derek Brunson averages 3.1.
He averages 0.13
I said
to
Luke Rockhold.
the fourth power of a takedown, nigga.
In all
Luke
honesty,
Rockhold
though,
doesn't shoot takedowns.
In all honesty, though, Jay, Derek Brunson averages 3.15 takedowns per fight.
Which,
So,
like I said,
yeah.
they're not always pretty, but at getting his opponent to the ground, it's not close. Derek Brunson, 7 other people than Luke Rockhold. Actually, probably like 10 people. Luke Rockhold doesn't shoot takedowns. But anyways, does have great jiu-jitsu, though, and I'm a big fan. People shit on him way too much. But anyways, the problem with Derek Brunson's win streak, though, Elias Theodorou, okay, that was a shit show fight. It literally could have went either way. Terrible fight. Ian Heinisch, he almost got knocked out in the first round. Came back. Decent win, but it was close. Still Ian Heinisch, middling guy. Edmund Shabazian, no gas tank. Close fight until Edmund gassed. Kevin Holland, no takedown defense. Took him down at will. And then Darren Till, okay, like you said, the injury. Who knows how much of a factor that is. Obviously, there were some times he got clipped, almost knocked out, but did end up getting the win. That was his best win out of the whole 5, and I've always said Darren Till, best win ever was Donald Cerrone, 2 weight classes below him. Darren Till's been overrated from the beginning. Got a great left hand, that's about it. But going into this fight, Jared Cannonier, much better takedown defense than Darren Till or anybody that Derek Brunson's been beating. Best wrestler that he's fought, takedown defense-wise, since probably Robert Whitaker, who obviously knocked him out. And I just feel like Jared's he used to fight a heavyweight. People look at his takedown defense now, and it's like 60-something%, which is pretty solid, but they don't understand that if you go through and look at his fights, it's been just heavyweight and light heavyweight fights where he's been taken down. At middleweight, his takedown defense is like 88, 89%. This dude does not get taken down. Like, I think, Robert had a takedown, which hurt his takedown defense a lot. And then I can't even remember the last person at middleweight that took Jared down.
Kelvin Gastelum got one, but he got, like, right back up, though, so...
But yeah, so Jared he's a big boy. Like, yeah, Derek Brunson, like, when you look at him on paper, you wouldn't think Jared would be that big. But like honestly, bro, when they get in there, you're gonna see like Jared is fucking big, bro. Like his bone structure is built for like a light heavyweight. He's fucking jacked.
Yeah.
And hey, I mean, you would think he would have gas tank issues with that much muscle and like literally just being that shredded, but I mean, he holds it together pretty well. Got a lot of power. Derek Brunson, guys with good takedown defense and power are typically the guys that beat him. So I got Jared. I'm going to take him to defend some of these takedowns. Derek's going to get sloppy like he always does. It works out for him a lot of times because, you know, these guys don't have good gas tanks or they don't have good wrestling or, you know, a combination of the two. But unfortunately for him, and I'm a fucking huge fan of Derek Brunson. Dude's fucking a beast. Blonde Brunson, built different. But Jared Cannonier, the combination of his power and his takedown defense is gonna. And I think Derek Brunson knows he's up against it because otherwise he's just the dumbest motherfucker ever. Because him coming out and saying that he's retiring after 2 fights, it's like, dude, even if you go in there and sleep Jared Cannonier, yeah, Derek Brunson came out in an interview a couple days ago and said he's retiring in 2 fights no matter what. So now you can guarantee, even if he goes in here and sleeps Jared Cannonier with the first punch he throws, they're going to be like, yeah, cool story, bro. Here's Sean Strickland. And if he knocks him out in the first round, they're going to be like, oh, okay, well, unfortunately, scheduling, we're going to have to match you. Like, they're never giving his ass a title shot. And I think he kind of knows that he's up against it in this fight, maybe. Because otherwise, Jesus, that was the dumbest move I've ever seen. But I've talked enough. Pryor, what do you think about this one?
All right, so in this one, I'm kind of basically going the same way Crooks was going. I don't think Derek Brunson. Like Derek Brunson may take Jared Cannonier down, maybe in the first round. But personally, I think if he does get him down, he's going to get back up to the feet. And again, Derek Brunson exerts a lot of energy with his wrestling, and as you say, he does get hella sloppy. And I think round 2. I was going to say I know Crooks was going with the round 1, but he switched it to round 2. And I'm personally going like round 2 because Derek Brunson is going to be just relentlessly shooting, I think, in the first round, like sloppy, like 3, 4, 5 times sloppy. You know, maybe the first comes out straight, but also I think mentally, I mean, he's going to be looking across at this big black 8, bro. Like, and that's going to make his takedown sloppy too, bro, because he really wants to get him down to the ground. And I personally think he's going to gas himself out. It isn't going to be Jared Cannonier just going crazy on him. It's just going to be Derek Brunson just gassing himself out. And then in the second round, gets sloppy, then gets finished, per usual.
Yeah, I didn't say a round, but I'm going to agree. Second round TKO. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're going to all have to agree on this one, it looks like.
Yeah. I'm going Jared Cannonier first round KO.
Respect it.
I'm sorry, Derek Brunson is like blind Brunt. Like he hasn't evolved. Like,
hey, bro.
Usually when people, they say they're a different fighter, they actually, have, gained some type of new intangible, But Derek Brunson, he's not coming out, with like new boxing like Kamaru Usman, or he's not wrestling like Francis. It's just like you're the same person with a different hair color. It just like when Peter Griffin and Family Guy, he put on those fake glasses with the nose and the mouth. Y'all know that episode. I'm not gonna go into that, but it's like that. It's like you're the same dude. If you look at his last 3, Kevin Holland, Darren Till, Edmund Shabazian. The Edmund fight, he was getting pieced up until Edmund gassed, like Cody said. The Darren Till fight, Darren Till wasn't able to even like wrestle at all from what Darren Till and his whole camp had said because he had a torn ACL. So he couldn't even, wrestle and, scramble and do things like that. And then Kevin Holland, he just don't know how to deny takedowns. He don't know how to block low. He was just striking. And all of those fights that I have said, while Derek Brunson has dominated for the most part, in every single one of those fights, he was hurt. I'm not joking. Go watch all 3 of those fights. He got hurt. The takedowns is sloppy. I don't. People be like, Brunson, bro. His wrestling is fucking trash, bro. He be shooting in head bro. You supposed to be a division, bro. You be pissing me off, bro. You supposed to be, crispy and clean and fragile. You just be shooting in all wild and erratic. And I'm not even gonna get into Derek. He just be making me mad, bro. I don't like when people just make me mad. And then you just got
people.
You hate
man.
you
Then
hate
you got-
on him, man. That's why.
then you got Jared Cannonier, just built like that gorilla name. He lives up to that because this man is built like a fucking gorilla. Y'all ever seen Caesar on Planet of the Apes? He's built like him, just fucking brawling as fuck. This is clear cut. He's going to knock his ass into Mars. The Jack Hermanson fight, Jack Hermanson tried to do that wrestling shit. Ask Jack Hermanson how that went. He woke up in a hospital asking his wife what happened. Kelvin Gastelum, ask him how hard it is to take him. It's not even like Cody said. It take the. You know how some people they be like, oh, the technique in a takedown defense. There is no technique with Jerry Cannonier. He's just fucking big as shit. He's big. I'm being that ass. If you go look at that Kelvin Gastelum fight when Kelvin Gastelum was trying to take him down, Jerry Cannonier was just standing there with a blank face, just like get off my leg. Like he was just like pushing him off. I'm like, oh my goodness, this man is huge.
Hey, but
Jesus.
in Calvin's defense for that fight though, Calvin really should be a welterweight if he could actually cut the weight. And compared to Jaron Cannonier, who should be up at light heavyweight, dog.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's gonna
true.
be hard for him to take him
Yeah,
down.
that's true. But that's no. I know I sound like a hater and all that, and that's what I
We know
tend to
this.
sound. Yeah, that's what I tended to sound like. I don't like Derek Brunson.
I just want to throw in there that a good takedown is one that lands. It is
Yeah.
ugly sometimes, but he be putting these motherfuckers on their back.
Yeah,
But
put them on it. In their
We
back
do all
end.
agree that the blonde Brunson, the streak's probably going to come to an end. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, you know, we could. It's only 3 rounds, so you know,
Yeah.
maybe he can wrestle him for 2. I just don't really see it. I think Jared
Yeah.
Cannonier is gonna knock
And
his ass
Jared, he carries that power throughout the fight.
out. That's the
That's
difference
crazy.
between him and Edmund.
That's
You know.
insanely crazy. He was like hurt, like not like his equilibrium and stuff was off. Like no, like he broke his forearm and orbital bone was like not completely shattered, but like it was done for, and he still dropped Robert Whitaker with a fucking jab, like a hard ass fucking jab, and dropped his ass. So it's like what is Derek Brunson gonna do? Derek Brunson, I'm sorry for you, my brother. That blonde hair is about to be red. Sadly.
Hey, before we
Yeah,
move on to the next one, I want to say how dumb we gonna look if Derek Brunson go out there and just wrestle fuck his ass.
Bro.
Yeah.
But hey, the one thing we all didn't even say is like, even though the Edmund fight, like that was kind of Derek Brunson's like kind of coming out party in terms of like putting him on the map before he made his run. Edmund was brand new. Like Edmund had not fought anybody to the caliber of Derek Brunson. Where Jared Cannonier, all he's been doing is fighting elite level guys. He's fought Calvin Gastelum. He fought Robert Whitaker. Like he has all this experience that he even has probably more experience fighting them in the UFC than Derek Brunson. So I mean, he's not going in there against somebody that's really inexperienced. I don't know how. I mean, maybe if he just pressures him up against the cage and just forces Jared to work, he can gas him out. But
Crooks,
I just don't
stop being nice. He's getting his ass knocked out. He's getting knocked out.
Hey, look, I'm not rude and talk shit about people that could beat my ass. All right, I learned this.
Yeah, I
Being
don't care,
in the
my
streets, you
nigga.
don't talk people. You don't
Shit,
talk
my
shit
nigga.
about people that could beat
You
your
bleed,
ass.
you bleed just like you bleed just like I bleed, my nigga. Let's see if you can defend this motherfucking baseball bat coming outside your fucking head. Nigga. No rules in these street fights. Anyways, we got
Well, it
two.
looks like we all agree on that one.
Yeah, we all agree. But we got these two big blokes. These two blokes coming up. Derek Brunson and Tai Tuivasa. Cody, what's your
Derek Brunson and
prediction?
Tai Tuivasa, they're fighting the same
Derek,
night, dog.
Derek Lewis. Derek
Alright, so then
Lewis.
yeah, no.
Lewis.
Derek Lewis versus Tai Tuivasa, the heavyweight banger. I mean, hopefully it doesn't end up like Francis Ngannou versus Derek Lewis, you know, because every time people hype up these fights and say, "Oh, there's no way, bro. There's no way this shit's going to decision, bro," then that shit becomes a staring contest or 15 minutes. Like when that Johnny Walker Thiago Santos fight happened, at least that time I knew. Because everybody in my stream was like, "Oh, you're dumb, bro. You're free money taking the under on that one." I was like, nah, not only did I not do that, but I took the over 3, the over 4, and fight to go to decision. I cashed out that night because everybody and their sister thought that shit. And I was like, bro, the thing that people don't think about is these fighters are humans. Like, yeah, they can say, oh, I'm going to go out there. Yeah, I'm just a fucking machine. I'm going to knock. But they're hearing like, damn, everybody's saying somebody's getting knocked out in this one. Damn, I'm not really trying to get knocked out in front of, you know what I mean? Like, at the end, they're like, fuck all that. I'm going to just have a boring fight. Next fight, I'll go back to knocking dudes out. So they end up with a friggin' staring contest like Francis Ngannou, Derek Lewis. So I would not be shocked, bro. I've been looking at the line. Derek Lewis by decision is like plus 800. I was a little tempted. Just the fight to go to decision is like plus 350. I'm like, whoo, if it ends up a snooze fest, because if somebody doesn't get knocked out, I mean, yeah, Derek Lewis has had late knockouts, so I'll leave it open for him. I wouldn't be shocked if he did it. But honestly, if Tai Tuivasa is going to get the knockout, I think it's going to be early. But overall, I just feel like Tai Tuivasa, bro, if he comes out there and brawls Derek Lewis, he is getting slept. Like, you look at Derek Lewis's losses, and I mean, he's been finished before. He has plenty of losses. But when you look at his losses, it's guys that have gone on there. Cyril Gahn, teep kicked him for 25 minutes. JDS, I mean, this was JDS fucking 3 years ago before he completely fell off a cliff. And even then, like, some of the cleanest boxing at heavyweight. Daniel Cormier, Mark Hunt, and that was when his back fucking, I'm not completely, trying to take away from Mark's win, but that was when he had the back issue and had to pull, like, he like just bent over and like quit basically in the middle of the fight, and then after the fight, like, had a back surgery. So, and then before then, like he lost to Sean Jordan and Matt Mitrione. But then he had a string of like 9 wins. His only losses here are to elite guys who are going to go in there and fight technical against them. If you go in there and brawl, like, we're going to know after 30 seconds who's going to win this fight. Because if Tai Tuivasa lets Derek just back him up to the cage like he did Chris Daukaus, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. He's going to, you can't block those shots, bro. It's like UFC 4. He gonna block break the shit out of you, bro. You just cover up like this, that shit does not mean shit. So what is Ty gonna do? Go out there and just start slipping all Derek shit? Ty's got 2 fucking things he needs to do if he wants to win this fight. Kick the fuck out of Derek's legs, because he does have good leg kicks, and at least threaten wrestling. Like, I'm not saying he needs to go out there and wrestle a ton, but he has been over there wrestling with DC, talking about how his wrestling is getting better. I seriously think he should go out there and shoot a takedown on Derek, bro. Because Derek does have good submission defense. He does have that, fuck you, I'm going to get ups, because that motherfucker is 290 pounds. Like, that dude's a freak. So if he wants to get up, a lot of times he can get the fuck up. And even though it's his gimmick to be like, I don't train, I don't do jiu-jitsu, I've seen with my own eyes him do jiu-jitsu moves. So the motherfucker's solid, not great, but he's got jiu-jitsu. Like, he doesn't just get controlled, bro. He can get up. So
Yeah, I know. I
don't think Ty can just. What'd you say?
I said I did a seminar with Derek Lewis not too long ago.
Oh my god. Anyways, I'm not saying Ty can just hold him down, but mix in some wrestling, because if he just goes out there and I'm just swaying him, like they said at the presser, swaying and bang, I got Derek Lewis. If you would tell me right now Ty's gonna go out there and just throw hands with Derek Lewis, I would literally bet my fucking car on Derek Lewis. Tai Tuivasa is a scrapper, don't get me wrong, the motherfucker's tough as shit. I love the guy. He's got a cool gimmick with the shoey thing. Seems like literally one of the most likable guys in the UFC. Like, how could you not like the guy? But I don't see him being able to. People forget, like, he was about to get knocked out. Not that I'm trying to do MMA math, but Greg Hardy was a second from knocking him out. And Greg Hardy showed his, he's green still, showed how amateur he still is, inexperienced, rushed in on a wounded heavyweight, and exactly what happened. He got starched for it. But in a different world, this fight ain't even happening right now because Ty got starched. You know what I mean? And then he's had some favorable fights. Augusto Sakai just let him blitz forward and just literally did nothing. And I mean, and then before that, Harry Hunsucker, the worst heavyweight that's ever fought in the UFC, probably. Literally, I'm sorry, but he's not gonna see this video anyway, so it's all good. That dude is a fucking can. I mean, literally one of the worst fighters that's ever fought in the UFC.
That name is not a good name.
Harry Hunsucker. I mean, if you all you have to do is put a finger on this dude and he's gonna topple over. All of his wins are like absolute cans. Anytime he's fought anybody who could throw a punch, they starched him. So Tai Tuivasa's had some favorable matchups, man. And I mean, I just feel like he's got to go out there, throw some leg kicks, shoot a couple takedowns, mix it up. Because if he goes in there and swings and bangs like he said he's gonna, I promise you he's getting knocked out. So that's all I got to say about this one. I'm going Derek Lewis by KO. I'll go Derek Lewis first round KO. But man, honestly, I would not be shocked, bro. If that line gets too wild, if everybody puts that late action on one of these guys to finish or inside the distance and that line gets too wild, I'm going to take a stab at Derek Lewis by decision in case Ty just fucking can survive. Derek Lewis maybe drops him, but he survives. And then they both get tired. It turns into a heavyweight slot fest, and Derek Lewis wins the decision. But I'll go Derek Lewis first round KO. What do you think? Where are we at? Pry?
It's me? Oh, I thought it was somebody else. Okay, so we know that the fight is in Houston and Derek Lewis, that's his hometown. So you have to ask yourself as far as that pressure that it is added on him. Like I say, he's human, right? He even said he had pressure when he fought Cyril Gane in Houston, you know? And
that's a good point.
That could, mentally block him from wanting, because he knows Tai Tuivasa hits like a Mack truck too. Like, Derek Lewis obviously hits harder, but this is heavyweight. Tai Tuivasa land on Derek Lewis, he can put him to sleep too, right? So I think with that added up pressure, that could lead into a decision, and if it does go to decision, who's to know if Tai Tuivasa does go out there and just says, I'm a kickbox and just point fight you. Just be smart. Yeah, I can, like I said, you can say, oh, I'm a swing and bang, but again, like I said, you're a human, bro. You go in there out the gun, you see Derek Lewis across from you, bro. You're not finna just go out there and swing and bang, bro, because it take one, and you sleep. So honestly,
unless you're Robbie Lawler, bro. Robbie Lawler probably go out there and do that in his heyday, though. No cap.
But
I don't know if he was doing that if he was that heavyweight staring at Derek Lewis.
Nah,
bro.
I don't think so either. But personally, now I want to go Derek Lewis. Don't get me wrong. Like, if I had to bet money, you feel me? I'm going.
I got blasphemous right now. Here he goes.
I want to go Derek Lewis. I do. But I'm just because probably all of y'all are gonna say Derek Lewis. I'm gonna be the person, the outcast, to actually go Tai Tuivasa. But I'm gonna actually even put it on an even higher. You know what I'm saying? And say he gonna finish him in the first round.
Why you always trying to be different? You know damn well Tai Tuivasa not about to come out in
bro, it's heavyweight, bro. It is heavyweight.
Yeah, it's heavyweight, and we talking about Derek Lewis. There is no MMA match
okay.
with Derek Lewis.
You never know.
Pryor is feeling some type of way, because in case y'all didn't notice, Pryor shaved his mustache off, so he was feeling dangerous today. You already know. Y'all should already know by starting out this video.
But yeah, I'm going Bam Bam first round TKO, bro.
I'm going Derek Lewis. I really don't have much to say. It's just two big heavyweights, looks fighting.
Lukes.
You look at that Chris Dawkins fight. Chris Dawkins is a better striker than Tai Tuivasa, and we saw what happened with that. Alex Oleinik, he got him in a scarf. What you call that, Cody? What we call that in jiu-jitsu, Cody? The scarf. The scarf hold.
Hey, that's a low percentage thing in MMA, but Alexi, man, you don't want to be in that thing. He gonna rip your fucking head off.
It was real tight. And Derek Lewis just said, "Man, I don't like this position. Let me just get up."
He made all the right moves, man. That's why I tell people, like, I don't give a fuck what he says. That man does jiu-jitsu. Because he literally, the whole sequence, he was doing all the right defense. So, Derek Lewis, jiu-jitsu, that's like his gimmick, though. Like, once he became the guy, like, he was sponsored by, like, fucking Popeyes or something. Or he just pretended like he was sponsored by Popeyes. Mm-hmm. And then he was just the guy that, like, didn't train. I train an hour every other day. shit like that. It's like, bro, you're a liar, dude. Like, I'll buy it for a second, but I do love Derek Lewis. So wait, are we all
I think
but
Crooks.
but Pry?
Yeah, I
Oh,
went Derek
Crooks,
Lewis. Yeah,
Crooks,
Crooks.
what you
Nah,
got on this one?
but I think the difference in this fight from Derek Lewis's last fight, I forgot what the guy's name was that he fought.
Chris
Who's the
Dawkins.
last? Chris Dawkins. You don't know why why this fight is going to be different? Because Derek Lewis the reason why that Francis and Ngannou fight was so boring was because Derek knew that Francis could knock him out. Derek thought he could knock Francis out. He knew that Francis is the hardest hitting heavyweight possibly ever. So he knew, hey, you know what? I just can't come forward on this guy because there's a chance he's probably going to sleep me as much as I'm going to sleep him. This could be the same thing for this fight. Like, Tai Tuivasa, he might not be the biggest heavyweight, but he hits, like Price said, he hits pretty damn hard for being a heavyweight. So in the first 30 seconds, like Cody said too, like we're really gonna see who's gonna win this fight, because if we see Derek Lewis just kind of walking Tai Tuivasa down, then Derek Lewis is probably gonna get the KO, because that means he doesn't respect the power that's coming back from Tai Tuivasa. But I kind of honestly expect Derek Lewis to not do that. I think he's gonna sit back and really just kind of expect Tai Tuivasa to try to move in and really gauge the range and move in on him and possibly catch him with a shot. I'm honestly leaning towards a decision, and I'm leaning more towards a Tai Tuivasa decision, just because Tai Tuivasa can kick and Derek Lewis doesn't. Derek Lewis can kick, he just doesn't have the type of kicks that Tai Tuivasa does. So if Tai wants to kick Derek Lewis, he could do it. Like, he really can. If he really sets his mind to just chopping the shit out of Derek Lewis's legs, he could really do it. It would be smart, but Tai Tuivasa is one of those fighters that, like he said, he's an entertaining fighter. Like he said at the press conference, we're here to entertain. So if there's an entertaining Tai Tuivasa shows up and he tries to swing and bang with Derek Lewis, I don't know if it's gonna be good for you, big guy. But I don't think he's gonna do that, because like I think it was Cody that said it. We're all humans. We're not trying to get knocked out. Like, none of us go into fights trying to get knocked out, unless you're, like I said, you were Robbie Lawler back in the day. Dude just didn't give a fuck. But I'm gonna go with Tai Tuivasa for a decision in the co-main.
All right, and so that basically wraps up everything as far as the main card, besides the final fight, which is the rematch of Israel, the Last Style Bender Adesanya versus Robert the Reaper Whittaker. We all know what happened in the first fight, and how Robert came out. And honestly, Robert didn't look like I was be one of those people that say Robert didn't look like himself. Like when he was coming out, just consistently swinging hooks, like just trying to land on Izzy and just looking foolish. I don't think that Robert Whittaker will be. Don't get me wrong, he's going to still do that to a certain extent. But it was like when you watch that first fight, he was doing that consistently and just looking silly. I mean, you can't do that versus Izzy. Footwork and head movement, he's gonna like have you looking silly. And personally, I'm sorry, I know this is like your boy Cody, but I don't see how Robert beats Izzy. People say, oh, wrestling. I mean, look at the stats versus Darren Till. Like, I don't think wrestling is the move. And then striking, I just don't think he's in Izzy realm when it comes to striking. I don't. And people may be like, oh, but no, I'm just sorry. I'm just Izzy. And I'm actually going to go with I actually think this one will go to decision. I don't think Robert will get finished again. Because, again, he's probably not going to put himself in the position to be just straight up countered due to him thinking about the last time. So it'll, the mental block. So I think, personally, it'll go to a decision. And I want to say 49-46. Decision win for Izzy.
I kind of was going to say the same thing as Fry. It's like, I told Crooks this in his stream the other day. I really don't see a route for where Robert Whittaker can win. It's kind of like, okay, we know what he can do on the outside, because that's what he's known for. Being technical, standing on the outside. We know what he can do there, And we seen what he's done on the inside. He got KO'd. Tried to fight like Kelvin Gastelum and got slept. So, I mean, he really hasn't improved from what I've seen. He fought Kelvin Gastelum and Jared Cannonier. Pretty much looked like Robert Whitaker. I mean, it's not like, oh my goodness, Robert Whitaker, he can do spinning heel kicks, and he's like, no, it's Robert Whitaker. That's why I don't feed into like all these narratives. Like how when people were saying that Justin Gaethje is good, like his takedown defense is, oh my goodness, Justin Gaethje, like, I don't care about none of that. Like, you're the same fighter that you've always been.
I can see what you're saying though about Robert Whitaker.
Yeah,
I can see.
And as far as him grappling, that's probably not gonna work. We saw Marvin Vettori, who I think, as far as top pressure and like just weighing heavy, because I think Marvin Vettori is like he's bigger than both of these dudes. Marvin Vettori comes in on fight night like at 230, so like he's bigger than him and Robert Whitaker, and he got swept. He let Izzy sweep him. So I mean, it's like, what he's going to be able to do. I think his only route, if he does want to get the decision win, is going to be keeping volume in Izzy's face, like just keeping on the attack, because him trying to play that outside game and let me do this, the jab to the body, straight to the head, and then that stupid ass hand plant kick that he always does. Like, oh my goodness, he can do a hand plant kick, yay. If he does that and fights on the outside, he's gonna lose. Like, if we being honest, distant management, kickboxing, that advantage goes to it. And this is coming from a dude who, I'm not even like an Izzy fan like that. Like, the distant management that Izzy possesses is 10 times as better than Robert Whitaker. I'm just being honest. Hate to say it. Sorry for all my Robert Whitaker fans. Even y'all know it. Y'all just don't want to admit it because y'all from the same country as him. Y'all know he's gonna lose. We all know he's gonna lose.
Damn.
He's losing by decision. Like, let's keep it easy. Unless he go out there and get like an Americana or like a armbar or something, which I doubt does not happen. He's not winning. Israel Adesanya by decision.
Yo, you going straight blasphemous. Bro.
Man said Americana.
Like, yeah, and of all the submissions, Americana, like,
Yeah,
not a
because we've seen them in like 25 years ever. He's gonna go out there in Americana. Is he just some white belt? Freaking Americana! That'd be the fucking most lackluster win of all time, bro.
Hey,
anyways, I think it's your turn, right, Crooks?
Yeah. But I mean, unlike Jay, because Jay be having some really off the wall takes, bro. I'm not even gonna cap.
That's Jay.
I just got on here and I don't know what you seeing, bro. But Robert Whitaker has gotten better. He's tightened up some things, and he does have the skill set to beat Israel Adesanya. He does. It's a very, like, what I say about UFC 4, when you get elite players against each other, it becomes a chess match. So it becomes, okay, when I do this, what do you do? And then when you do this, what do I do? So it comes back and forth. Like, and it's really what you're going to see. It wouldn't surprise me if in the first round, they kind of just took it as like a feeling out process, where Robert's just trying to see what Israel's going to do. Izzy's trying to see what Robert's going to do. It makes for kind of a lackluster first couple of rounds, and then it picks up like in the third. But the thing is about it is, in terms of striking, and why I looked at you kind of weird, Jay, when you were saying it, was nobody really thought Jan was going to outstrike Izzy either. Like, Jan, really, in that fight, nobody thought that Jan, even though it's at light heavyweight, I get it, it's a bigger weight. But in terms of him outstriking Israel Adesanya, nobody predicted that was going to happen. But it happened, bro. Like, no matter what the commentators were saying in that fight. That's what pissed me off so much about that fight, was they were trying to say that Israel was winning all these exchanges when he really wasn't. It was Jan.
Hey, Joe Rogan. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Joe Rogan was somebody he was winning with feints, bro. Had me gone, bro.
That commentary was bad, bro. You want to talk about some biased commentary? That's the footage you should look at. But Robert has the tools to beat Izzy. It's just how he game plans it. Because honestly, Israel Adesanya can fight from the outside, but Robert Whitaker also is quick. Like, his footwork is very, very fast. He can get in and out of the pocket really easy. It wouldn't surprise me to see maybe Robert Whitaker even working in some of those front leg side kicks that he used against Romero. I don't know if he's going to use them all the time because Israel would probably catch on to it. But using those, or maybe even using a calf kick, even because I mean, just blitzing in like he did in the first fight, he's going to get jacked, bro. Like it's just proven. But maybe that slows Izzy down enough for him to be able to catch up in the later rounds. And I wouldn't put it past him to try to grapple in the later rounds too, when he potentially feels like Izzy is getting tired of just shooting a takedown just to make Israel respect it and not just make it a stand-up fight. He has it. Izzy, his angles are ridiculous, bro. And his movement, the way he's able to cut an exit angle, is really, really crazy. And he can kind of like, even when you're on the inside, he hits you with something that you don't see coming, and you just get hurt. So it's gonna be a very like tit for tat fight, honestly, in my opinion. I'm gonna go Robert Whitaker winning a decision just because I think he's gonna have more output this time from the outside. I would expect him probably to kick a little bit more, and I think honestly he can outpoint Izzy if he plays it right. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Israel Adesanya win this fight by decision. I just don't think he's gonna finish Robert Whitaker again. I don't think that's gonna happen. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Whitaker by decision. I don't know how many rounds. Probably like 3-2. Probably 3-2 Whitaker. But yeah, what you think, Cody?
Nice.
You're the expert in this one right here.
Nah, I think you did bring up that Whitaker is my boy. He's one of my favorite fighters. For dope streamer. Used to go in there all the time, so I'm a little biased. But with all that even being said, I still am slightly leaning Izzy. Just statistically, man, when you got two guys that have fought before, and not only did one win in the rematch not too far after, but the guy who won by knockout, that only increases the chance. Like, already, the person who won the first fight typically, just statistically, wins that second fight. Unless there's a big age gap or there's a couple factors, but we don't have that here. These guys are relatively the same age. If anything, Izzy's actually a year older, but he's a little bit fresher as far as, at least MMA-wise. I mean, yeah, you could argue they're about even, considering he has a rack of kickboxing matches. But just the fact that he's knocked him out, if a guy knocks somebody out, statistically, that same guy is going to win the second fight. It's a mental hurdle for the other guy to overcome for sure, knowing, like, you can say whatever you want. I mean, Izzy wasn't, yeah, I'm a Rob fan, but Izzy was preaching when he said, like, at the end of the day, he knows what I did to him in the first fight, and that's going to be in his mind. And it is, but I also think Izzy respects Rob a lot. And I know you did say same old Rob, basically, Jay, and I do agree to an extent, because Rob's always had, people forget, like, I think he said it best when they asked him, I can't remember if it was at the presser or like the pre-fight interview, but they were saying, like, what did you add? But, the same old question they ask everybody in a rematch, like, what have you changed to make the outcome different? And he was just saying, like, I got back to other aspects of my game. And I think it was Crooks that talked about how in the first fight, literally Rob just blitzed him the whole time. And if you go back and rewatch it, I just rewatched it last night, just rewatched it on the stream. Rob was catching Izzy. Like, he was landing some good shots, but, like, I think in his head, he was really thinking, like, I'm going to knock his ass out with this. Like, I'm about to catch him. I'm about to knock him out. But, like, he obviously, and he put it really good just talking about, like, the loss reset him because, he was talking about, like, bringing it to gaming. Like, I like that. When I was number 6 and I had to fight number 5 and I had to number 3 and I had to fight number 2. And he was talking about how he kind of lost track of, like, his progression. And that loss made him go back because he was winning so many fights with just his striking. After that loss, we've seen him go out there and hit 4 takedowns on Kelvin. Mix in a little bit of wrestling against Jared, against Darren. It's not like he went out there with a singlet on, but he was mixing it up. And just like in UFC 4... like, when I'm about to put this video for him, like, the same thing I'm talking about in the intro is literally, like, if you want to use Rob, is, like, he's not, like, a specialist. He's just really good everywhere. He actually started as a jiu-jitsu guy. Like, people don't know him for that, but he started his training jiu-jitsu-wise. Then came into the striking afterwards. And he's had so much success with his striking, I think he got away from it. And he thought he was just going to be able to go in there and blitz Adesanya and knock him out. but it's the age-old classic styles make fights, man. A guy like Adesanya, not only a counter striker like Adesanya, but a tall, lanky counter striker. It's the standard, like age-old test. Like the counter striker wants you to come forward. In Izzy's head, why has a couple of Izzy's fights been boring? Because Yoel refused to come forward. And literally, that's the only reason that fight sucked, was because Yoel literally said, okay, like, I'm just going to make this counter striker come forward. I'm going to make you throw first. So what did Izzy do? Fuck you. I'm going to just chip away at you with leg kicks at range where you can't even hit me. So it's a little bit of mental warfare there where it's just like, they're both like, nah, you go first. You go first. You go first. You see that shit in the game. You see that in Fight Night. Like, it's classic shit. And a guy like Whitaker has so many tools. The reason Whitaker was the champ was because he had really good striking. He had really good takedowns. He had really good takedown defense, really good cardio. He's durable. He's just really good everywhere. He's not a special. Izzy's excellent in one area and then solid everywhere else. Whereas Rob's just very good everywhere. And I really think that the worst game plan against a specialist like Izzy is not only to blitz in on the counter striker, which is exactly what any counter striker wants, let alone Israel. He's made a career out of knocking guys out when they blitz him. But especially when you're Rob, whose whole thing, your niche is mixing it up. He's not the best striker. He's not the best wrestler. He's really good at both, so he mixes. Oh, you're a good wrestler? Well, I'm going to use my striking, and then I'll get to my wrestling later. And vice versa. So in this fight, I really do think both guys have respect for each other. Rob's going to come in. He'll have a better game plan this time. I really do believe that, he needed that refresh. He needed to, kind of go back to the tool set, realize, I'm not just a striker. This dude's a striker. I'm a mixed martial artist. He's got better kickboxing than me. I got to set my ego aside. He is the better strictly striker, but I am pretty solidly close to him in striking. It's not like different leagues. It's pretty close, especially if he can mix in. Even if he can't, do I think he can go in there and take him down every round and wrestle fuck him? No, but the threat of the takedown, that's why Khabib dropped Conor. The threat of being taken down, it just gives you another thing to worry about, and it's going to put a hole in your defense. So Whitaker's got to mix it up. If he mixed it up well, I would not be shocked if he won. I mean, we've seen Izzy get knocked out. We haven't seen him submitted, but, if Rob Jiu-Jitsu is definitely on point, I wouldn't be shocked. I would say probably by knockout if Rob wins. But, I could see it going 5 and Rob edging 3 of these rounds. I mean, dude, plus 220 on anybody on Rob Whitaker's caliber is pretty crazy, so I get the value, people betting that. But overall, I'm going to say they both have respect for each other. Rob probably lands a takedown or 2. Overall, Izzy's going to outland him. People might call it boring. I think it's going to be a little bit slower of a fight, a little chess match. They're both going to have just a lot of respect for each other. And it'll be a 4-1, 3-2 decision Izzy's way. So yeah, I am going to go Izzy by decision, even though, I'm rooting for Whitaker. But hey, I hope you're right, Crooks. I'm not going to be betting on the fight.
No joke though. For those of you guys that don't believe what we're saying, go back and rewatch just right now the ceremonial weigh-ins and Dana White's the footage from in between Israel and Robert Whitaker. Israel says, "I know you're ready," and he's like, "I'm ready too." So they're both. He knows that Robert Whitaker is ready this time. He knows that it's not the same Robert Whitaker that he ran into when he beat him the first time. It's a totally different guy that knows. Israel knows that this guy has the potential to beat him, so he's going to show a lot of respect to Robert Whitaker, and Robert Whitaker is going to respect him too. So it's going to make for a really, really intriguing fight.
All right. Nah, but hey, so that's it, man. That's all of our predictions. If you actually made it this far along into the video, you're actually a demon, and highly appreciate it. But if you guys could put your predictions in the comment section, man. And also, before we do close out, I'm going to put the link to Crooks, Cody, and also JMMA YouTube channels and Twitch channels, whatever it may be, in the what is it called?
Description?
Yeah, in the description below, man. Hey, in the description below, and you guys subscribe up to them and follow them as well. And before we do close out, and you guys have some final words, we can start with Jay.
Beating your meat. It's not productive.
All right,
Oh
all
yeah,
right.
this Black History Month. Support Black creators, man. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, and no cap. I mean, it was a joy getting on here with you guys. I mean, I told you guys last time I wanted to jump up on here. It's always a good time. I mean, Cody and Pry. I've known y'all for a cool minute.
Yeah.
So you already know it's always fun when we get in here. Jay's got some real interesting takes, so that shit is nice too. But yeah, support all the creators, man. Support all of us, but not just us too. Like different content creators. There's thousands
Everybody.
of them out here that are putting in the work. You know what I mean? So make sure you guys are supporting them as well, and just taking care of yourselves. Take care of yourself. Be good people. You know what I mean? And enjoy these fights that are about to happen tomorrow or today, depending on when you drop this video. Right?
Yeah, bet. Yeah, go give them a follow, y'all. Make sure you go support them. Sub to their streams. My link, like he said, is going to be down there if you want to check out my stuff. I do betting videos. Don't follow Jay. He's L. He's an L tier streamer and definitely a commentator if you come to my events. But anyways, yeah, and come through on Sunday. Depending on, I don't know when you're gonna watch this.
Jay?
Come through on Sunday. We got a fight card. Yeah, Jay and Pry are fighting. That's gonna be fun. I got Pry first round KO, flash KO, absolutely starching him cold, face down, buns up. But yeah, if you want to follow my content, Pry's gonna put something in the description down there. I stream every day. I make some videos. Pretty big deal. I mean, if you hate money, don't click it because you will not want to watch those videos. 'Cause, you know.
Right.
Just want to say this before he signs off.
Closes out. Jay sucks.
Pride got flash KO. That's all I want to say.
It's the most BS KO ever.
All right, man. Whatever. All right, so that'll be it with this one, man. You can catch us next month in UFC 272, and I believe that card is actually pretty clean. If I'm not mistaken, I have to look at it again.
Masvidal Covington card.
Oh yeah, okay. Say less. So yeah, that card will be clean.
Colby by
All
Smash.
right. We gonna get out of here because we got my man sitting here wiping niggas' nose and shit. All right, y'all boys subscribe up, turn on notifications, hit the like button, all that. All right, see you.